Okay, so I'm guessing if you've clicked on this video, you're currently struggling with one of the following. You've lacking muscle, you're feeling skinny, maybe you've got a bit of a belly on you, maybe the body fat around your chest, back, face, arms is a little bit higher than you want. And you kind of come into that category of being skinny fat. You've got no muscle and high body fat. You want to lose the body fat and you want to gain muscle, but you're not sure whether you should go onto a bulk or whether you should go onto a cut. Because if you go on the bulk, you might gain body fat and look worse. And if you go on a cut, you might just lose a bit of belly, but also lose the muscle that you've got, and you want to get bigger anyway, and just not really sure where to start. And it's a little bit more complicated than just eating a salad and going on the treadmill. Now, a lot of men actually do find themselves in this annoying predicament, and it normally comes from either bad genetics, poor lifestyle and habits, and given the fact that you can just ring up Papa John's and they bring you a pizza and you can watch Netflix, your muscle's probably going to atrophy and you're probably going to gain a little bit of body fat from all the extra calories that you're not necessarily spending anywhere. Maybe you've tried going to the gym, doing some fat burning classes. Maybe you've hired a PT and they've just taken you around the gym, showing you how to warm up and use some machines. Or maybe you haven't even started yet. Or if you're like me, you could have been training for several years, eating chicken, broccoli and rice, smashing the weight, looking in the mirror and going, have I even been to the gym yet, mate? Now I'm making this video kind of blunt, kind of raw, kind of off the cuff, because I struggled with this problem since the age of 14, all the way up until about 22. And then I finally figured out the best way to go about fixing skinny fat. Now, yes, we all know calorie deficits work. We all know that you need to be in the gym. We all know we need loads of protein. You know, carbs aren't actually that bad, all this kind of stuff. If you just go into a calorie deficit and you lose muscle, you're not necessarily fixing the issue. If you go too low on the calories, you're going to feel like shit. You're going to cave in, you're going to binge eventually, and you're not going to sustain it long enough to get the results. And if you go straight onto a bulk, you're probably just going to get more fat and then not want to do that cut at the end of it. And I've done that twice myself, and it was a lot of waste of time. So first things first, why the hell should you even be listening to me? So I'll just give you my quick background. From the age of 14 to 22, I got stuck. I got no results. I was skinny. I was insecure, had fairly high body fat, not too bad, but enough to knock my confidence. Hated taking my shirt off, and it just generally affected my day-to-day confidence and my ability to do anything. I didn't even start learning to drive until like 25 years old, because it affected my confidence to even go out and do things like that. So it was pretty hefty for me to deal with. Fast forward to now, I've managed to lose body fat. I managed to gain a lot more muscle. I went from 120 pounds to 160 pounds, currently about 175, all natural, of course. And I've also been coaching men to do the same thing over the past few years. And I've helped well over 100 men drop body fat and gain muscle. I'll put some pictures up here so you can visually see what I'm talking about. Yes, I'm a coach, but this video isn't necessarily just to sell you any bullshit. That's kind of my whole point in the fitness industry, is I just want to cut through the noise and give you the information that matters, the stuff that I wish I was told. Because when I wanted to lose body fat, keep it lean and grow and gain some size, I was told, no carbs, mate, but also, eat brown rice, which is carbs. But, carbs are bad, but they're also good. But, make sure you get the protein shakes, not that one, have this one. Do loads of cardio, but don't do too much. But then lift weights, but you don't want to get too big and bulky. So do loads. It was just all over the place, conflicting information all over the place. And 9 times out of 10, the people that are giving that advice were taking drugs, which is fine. If they want to take steroids, that's fine. But I didn't want to take that route for myself. And if someone's on steroids, their training routine will be very different to someone that's natural, because you're both trying to stimulate different things at different times. So over the years of helping hundreds of men lose body fat and gain muscle, I've kind of simplified it into 4 easy steps. Now, I hate talking about steps and systems and things like that, because as soon as I hear the words 4-step system or this strategy launch bullshit, it just sounds like crap to me. It sounds bollocks. It sounds bullshit to me, to be honest with you. But it's also nice to clarify things, break it down to easy steps. So let me walk you through these 4 steps so you kind of understand it, and hopefully give you a better understanding where you should be starting. Now, if you're starting with a bit of body fat that you don't like, but you also lack muscle, and you want to change both those things, you want to lose body fat and you want to gain muscle, then you're best off starting with a recomposition, all right, which is basically a cut, but with the emphasis of keeping and potentially gaining muscle. So how do you do that? What does that mean? Why? Now, we don't want to go on a bulk first, because if you've got body fat you don't like, it will certainly go up as you bulk. Even if it's a lean bulk, those areas will grow. The love handles will get bigger, the double chin will get bigger. You're not going to enjoy it. Get lean first, you have a nice foundation to grow and keep it lean. Now, if you do a recomp successfully, you should still be able to gain a little bit of muscle if you're relatively new to the gym. Newbie gains are a thing. So a recomposition, you're going to work out what your maintenance calories are and eat in a very small amount below it. So let's say your maintenance calories are 3,000. If you're training 3 days a week, your maintenance calories work out to be 3,000 with the exercise included. You want to take about 500 calories off of that, so it'd be about 2,500. Now you might be thinking, bloody hell, that's really high, that's crazy. But if your maintenance is 300 and you're eating 500 below it, you're going to lose roughly about a pound of fat per week, because 3,500 calories roughly equates to 1 pound of fat. So you might be thinking, well, if that's the case, should I go for 1,000 calorie deficit? And you very well could do. But the bigger the deficit, the more likelihood of you going catabolic and eating away into lean muscle tissue. And the lower the calories are straight off the bat, the harder it is for you to stick to it, perform and have good energy, and obviously support your bodily functions. So a small calorie deficit at this point is going to be ideal, because if you have got newbie gains and you're eating a significant amount of protein, you can still lose body fat and gain muscle. That's exactly what I did with Reese right here. His whole transformation in this one photo was entirely a recomposition. There was no surplus. There was no increase of calories, and there was no sudden drop, and there was very little cardio, to be honest with you. And he still was able to lose body fat and gain a significant amount of muscle, right? Most of my clients have been through that exact process, and a lot of them only need the recomp phase. So yes, I've broken it into 4 steps, but if you do it right, you can smash it with a recomp. Okay, so that's step 1. Get lean, get stronger, keep your calories in a smaller deficit. And if that deficit starts to stop working, which it inevitably does because your body will adapt, slowly drop it. With my clients, they weigh every single morning. We do weekly photos and review all their progress throughout the week, so we know when to make those adjustments. Now, once you've gotten lean, you've gained a little bit of muscle, you're probably thinking, well, I actually want to gain a bit more size. I need to eat a bit more food than this now. I'm starving. What do I do next? That's when we lean into a reverse diet. Once you've gotten lean and you've got more muscle, you want to rework out what your current maintenance is at this point. It might be slightly higher, it might be slightly lower. It does depend on how much muscle you've gained in a recomp, and that's kind of down to genetics. And of course, how well you've trained and how hard you push yourself. So you want to work out your maintenance now you've changed that physique. You want to work out your maintenance now you've gotten leaner and added a little bit of muscle. And then you're going to reverse diet up to that maintenance. So you're going to slowly rebuild, increase those calories whilst keeping your routine the same up until your maintenance calories. And once you reach your maintenance calories, you'll then want to go into a very small calorie surplus, anywhere between 200 to 500 calories surplus. Now, why 200, 300? I'm glad you asked. 200, 300 calories, 500 calories, whatever. Again, it's going to be about £1. Now, you could go for the 200 calories and try and keep it super, super lean. The reason I don't really go for the 200 calories is it's such a small amount that it's so easy to get wrong. If you track a few things a little bit off, you might not even be in a surplus, right? Or you might be in a massive surplus and go way over and start to gain fat quicker than you want. So I always recommend about 300 to 500 calories, give or take. If you're really, really skinny and you want a lot of size, just go straight up to the 500. That way your surplus is still small and you're still going to be growing. Now you might think, well, again, what about 1,000 calorie surplus, 2,000 calorie? Eat big to get big, right, babe? There's a little bit of truth to that, because if you eat big, you're guaranteed to be in a surplus and you're definitely going to grow. And if you're skinny at the start, you probably need a lot more calories than you think. However, as a guy who's done this twice and gotten fat twice, the bigger the surplus does not mean the bigger the gains. The bigger the scale weight increases, yes, of course, but anywhere above, say, 500, 600 calories, it's very likely you're going to start to gain body fat with that. Now, if you're not bothered about gaining body fat on a bulk, crack on. I'm not going to tell you what's right or wrong, because it's up to you how you want to go about it. But for me, I've done the big dirty bulk several times in my life, gotten fat, and that's doing a mammoth of a cut, which often comes with a bit of muscle loss, so it's not really been that ideal for myself, and regretted it. And then as of recently, over the past few years, I've been doing more of a lean bulk, and because I've been doing lean bulks, I've managed to grow, gain size, but still stay relatively lean, which means 2 things. 1, I can bulk for longer and maximize my gains, which has been really helpful this time. And 2, by the end of it, you don't really have to do a massive cut or recomp at the end of it. You can do a smaller, shorter recomposition to get back to being lean and get straight back on that bulk again. So more time growing, less time fucking wasting away and going on a diet. So you've done phase 1. You've lost body fat, gotten stronger, and gained a bit of size. Then you've done phase 2. You've reverse dieted up to your maintenance and then put it into a slight surplus, started growing. Now the third phase here is where we go into more of an overload. And overload is just simply pushing the workouts, adding extra levels of stimulus, tweaking things that might be needing to be tweaked. We're all different. I've got relatively narrow shoulders for the length of my arms. So for me to do pushing movements like bench press, overhead press, shoulder press, I'm not necessarily gifted in those areas. So for me, my workout routine, I need to overload those areas particularly a lot more than most people will need to, because of my genetics, my starting point, my goals in mind. So during this overload phase, it's essentially time to focus on those weak points. Any areas you notice that haven't been growing so far, it could be your arms, it could be your chest, it could be your legs. Hopefully not legs. No one wants to do more legs. And if you do, good for you. But you get my point. The whole point of an overload phase is to progressively tweak and advance the lifts that you're doing to build up those weak areas so you grow and transform your physique. I'll take Reese, for example. He's doing an overload phase right now. His shoulders and his traps aren't as big as they could be. He's quite tall and he's got very, narrow shoulders in proportion to his waist. So for his physique, he wants more shoulders, more traps, more delts, more pop. So his workout routine will look very different to most people's. And that's the whole point of an overload phase, is to build your weak points. Now, once you've done the overload phase, you're going to be big, you're going to be jacked, you're going to be feeling good, you're going to be strong, you're going to be looking great, feeling great. The last phase is really, really simple, and it depends on the person, but I like to call this the bulletproofing phase. And all this is just learning how to maintain what you've built. Now, most people, I'll be honest with you, full transparency, they finish the overload phase and they want to go on a recomp and just tidy it up a bit, get a little bit leaner. Then they might notice that, okay, well, actually, they wouldn't mind a bit more width to their back, so they'll go back on a reverse diet into a bulk again. So the fourth phase is mainly for those people that kind of want to get in, get the result, and just keep it, you know? So the fourth one is a bulletproof phase, which essentially is just figuring out what your maintenance is. Now you've gained all this muscle so that you can actually eat a realistic amount going forward, have a basic workout routine that kind of tides you over so you can keep the results you've got, and get on with your life looking jacked and feeling great. But like I said, I'll be honest, you know, you're either moving forward or you're going backwards. I'm not a big fan of the whole maintenance thing, unless your life's particularly busy and you want to maintain, or unless you want to try something else. Maintenance is good for sort of pausing, but long-term maintenance, you're going to go backwards, you're going to lose motivation. You know, I don't know about you, but I can't be bothered to track all my food, do all the workouts just to look the same. You know, I'd rather be making progress and moving forward in one way, shape, or form. That's what keeps it interesting. That's what keeps it exciting. So the fourth phase is people that kind of want to tie a knot on their physique and leave it as be. But most people end up jumping from, you know, recomp phases where they lose body fat and keep muscle as much as possible, and then going on to a lean bulk overload phase so they can actually gain size and strength and muscle. So hopefully that kind of gives you a bit more food for thought on what kind of things you should be doing as a skinny fat person that wants to lose body fat and gain muscle. If you're super skinny at the start, then get straight to an overload phase. Track your workouts, track your metrics. Are you gaining weight each week? Half a pound to a pound? Are your progress photos looking different each week? Are your lifts going up? Are your calories consistent? These are the things you really want to be focusing on. Now, in my bio, I've probably got a bunch of links for a load of free shit. I don't know what I've put there, depends, but have a look. There's probably going to be a 4-week free coaching thing there, which is going to walk you through the application of these steps. There's going to be a cutting recomp guide so you understand how to work out your numbers and get those right. It's all free. Grab what you need. And if you have any questions, you can always drop them in the comments. You can drop them on my Instagram at Elite Transformation Project. I always reply to my DMs, and my email, which I think is samstantonfitness@gmail.com. Really creative name there. Or if you want to just get straight to it and you think this sounds exactly what you need and what you want, you can click the link in the bio to book a call with me. It's not going to be a sales call. I'm not going to be pressuring you. It's basically an interview. I want to see if I can actually help you. It gives you a chance to ask some questions to get some clarity on what you want to do. And if I think you're a good fit for the way I'd coach my clients and we can get on with it, then I'll give you the opportunity to jump aboard. And if you like this video, like it and subscribe. I'm going to try and make a lot more practical, no bullshit, straight to the point, practical videos like this that actually help and stuff you can actually take away and implement. But this is quite a new channel. So at the moment, the content's going to be crap. I do run a full online coaching business, so I am looking after my clients as a priority, so these videos can be few and far between, but I will be making more effort and more time to be producing them. If you've got any questions or you want me to make any particular videos about any particular topics, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section and I'll probably do it. So have a great week and good luck with your transformation journey.